GangRadio.com. Take over. Last mission. Final boss mode.
The next couple of weeks is good. It's pretty quiet for boxing. Probably, I know next week there are 2 cards. And of course and then probably the fight that's probably the best fight of the week. Of course, the other one is a PBC card. And we won't preview all that, but I'll tell you what it is a little later. But the best fight though is on Eddie's Fight Camp series, which is airs on DAZN. Now, if you followed Fight Camp last year, Eddie debuted that stuff. It was unique. Obviously, he was in the middle of COVID stuff, so you couldn't have any crowd. So Eddie, and this is where I think his creativity kind of shone bright. Decided, hey, let's hold cards on Matchroom's headquarters. So basically, and of course, I refer to it as his Mandingo series because shit looked like a scene out of Mandingo where you have people watching, two quote unquote slaves fight it out, and that's what that shit sound, and that's what that shit looked like to me. Like, it was all outside and shit with the and the elements exposed and shit. Like,
were there trees? Were there trees and shit?
Yeah, there was trees. Yeah,
like in the yard. Yeah, that sounds a little. Yeah.
Yeah, but the good thing though is I didn't really think much of it when I first heard it. I was just like, yeah, okay, whatever. But the fights on there, because it had last year's card had more names on there than this year's, but last year's was fire. Like there was some absolute wars being fought on those fights. And some of from the women especially. My goodness, the women. And then, of course, then the legend of Ted Cheeseman get into all types of ridiculous sports. And then it ended, with Katie Taylor, Taylor and what's her name again? Why did I forget her name? She was kind of like Katie Taylor and fuck was her name again? Why am I forgetting her name? Pursoon. There we go. And then of course it ended with Povetkin knocking Dillian White the fuck out.
Yeah, Pursoon got robbed.
Yeah, yes, yeah. But yeah, so that fight camp though, it was excellent boxing throughout. So
because that card was the most looked forward to, anticipated fight for the summer. After that, it was all the Charlo pay-per-views and all that other shit, Tank and all of that.
Yeah. And the fight camp, like I said, there were 3 different cards before that last year's one, and then, like I said, if you watch them, because they happened during the day, and like all of them were like I said, there were some bloody fights on those cards, like ridiculously violent fights, So Eddie showing on those fights, so that's why he brought them shits back. So
I think the names kind of the fighters have been built up over the year. Mm-hmm. So where these names they don't feel bigger because you don't have that big finale event like you have with Povetkin and White, and Pursuing Taylor. But you got I guess bigger names throughout, because now you see Shannon Courtney's name is a little bigger now this year. So she was supposed to be fighting. Her fight is I think postponed. She got an injury.
Yeah, she got injured, so she's not even gonna be on the fight camp card. So it's gonna be pretty much like the main events of the 3 fight camp cards. They all vary. This one, and like I said, the first one actually is probably not too bad in terms of that. I mean, we finally get the return of Zucan, defending his GameStop featherweight title, against one of Eddie's fighters, and then you have Ricky's son Campbell Hatton on that card. And unfortunately, you also have Avni Yildirim, who's in the middle of the card. Talk about a fall off from fighting Canelo in Florida to doing Florida or Texas or whatever. No, it was Florida.
It was Miami.
Yeah, it was Miami to now fighting a 10-rounder with a middle of the road fighter. But the best fight on the card obviously is it's your classic prospect versus grizzled veteran card. You have Conor Benn, the son of the Dark Destroyer Nigel Benn, and who's a pretty hot welterweight prospect as it is, and he'll be facing Adrian Granados, who just seems to be, but I think now is probably settled into his role as journeyman at this point. For this particular type, and it's by far the best fight on this card. And Ben is still hot from his last fight.
Samuel Vargas.
Yeah, when he knocked out Samuel Vargas in less than a half minute.
That wasn't supposed to be no serious matchup. Like, I think Granados is a real fight, though.
Yeah, unfortunately, I can never sleep on Granados because Granados upset one fighter that I was I was high on. I was really high on, and I was not happy that he did it too.
Remember, he pushes people to the brink. Like, he gave Broner a tough fight. Some people thought he should have won. He gave Sean Porter all Porter could fucking handle.
Yeah, he did. But the Danny Garcia fight kind of took a lot of, to me.
Because he got skunked out, beat up in that fight.
Yeah, he
made Danny Garcia look like, 140.
140. He was back at 140, knocking.
Like, he actually kind of prolonged Danny Garcia's career with that win. Like, Danny Garcia needed that win so fucking bad.
In that fashion too, the way he did it.
Yeah, he needed that. Like, and remember, he had a good fight with Robert Easter.
Yeah, he did. He's a gamer, man. He's one of those guys like
Grant's been putting in work since the days of ESPN Friday Night Fights because he used to be on there a lot. Like, he's given like someone like Frankie Gomez, who's like person non grata these days, all hell. He gave Kermit Cintron hell. He should have won that fight. Fuck the draw. I think he gave Felix Diaz hell. He gave Brad Sullivan hell. Like, he gave a lot of cats hell. He knocked out Amir Imam, which is probably his best win to date.
Right.
And I thought he beat Broner. I really thought he beat Broner, and I thought he came close to beating Porter, though. I mean, that shit was really close. It wasn't, the cards were garbage that night. But, yeah, he gave Porter some help.
Yeah, because he was jabbing Porter's head off and making Porter damn scramble around and shit.
Yeah, and he
run around the ring.
Yeah, and he should have knocked out Fortuna, but Fortuna didn't want to continue, because he hit his head on the apron.
Yeah, I know what the fuck was going on with Fortuna. Like, that's why I can't really be. For Fortuna is so up and down. Like, wow, like.
Yeah, like, I mean, dude,
the Robert Easter fight made him look better than what he was.
Right. So yeah, and the Easter, I mean, that's probably like, I'd say that the Easter and Danny Garcia and maybe the Felix Diaz fight too are probably his really. You could say that he lost those fights. Like, I mean, those are the fights I watched. I was like, yeah, he lost, and of course the Danny Garcia one. Yeah, Danny needed that one. And personally, I thought Granados would have lasted a distance because Danny was kind of like
we know. Yeah, we know.
Yeah, he wasn't on his game, but he at least. That's probably his best welterweight win, to be honest.
It is.
Yeah,
he treated Granados like how you thought he was supposed to be treated by Broner and Porter.
Absolutely, yeah.
That one and Bam Bam. I think that was his only two knockouts at 147. I think maybe.
Well, the Bam Bam one, I want to say because I thought the Bam Bam fight was a lot more competitive than it should have been with Danny Garcia, and Bam Bam kind of looked kind of vintage in certain parts of the fight. Meanwhile, Danny beat the shit out of Granados. Like that's I can't even mince words. Like that's what happened.
Yeah. Listen, okay. Like I love that good visual imagery from Pat. It's a positive for Danny Garcia. So let's just stop it right there.
Yeah. Well, I like Ben. I like Ben a lot. I think Ben's right. This is 147, right? Ben's a welterweight.
Yeah, he's at one. Yeah, he's a 147. Like, I mean, right now, like his last two fights have gotten him the attention. Like, honestly, because he, first one was the Formella fight. And personally, I thought he beat up Formella better than Porter did.
Oh yeah, he did.
And I thought Porter beat up Formella bad too. Like, disragging him, but damn.
He got doing the one round. Who did he beat the last fight? I watched it. I forgot the dude's name.
Yeah, Samuel Vargas. Samuel Vargas, yeah.
Yeah,
Samuel Vargas. of course, his claim to fame was, I mean, obviously he's been knocked out by Errol Spence and Danny Garcia.
He made Amir Khan go life and death.
Yeah, he went life and death with Khan, and he almost beat Louis Collazo too. Like, I mean, dude is tough. And then of course he lost to Ortiz, but Ben just blitzed him. Ben did not waste no time with that dude. He was like, you know what, I got somewhere I need to be. So let me get you up out of here real quick.
But then that's the thing. He knew how to finish. He hurt the guy, and he kept punching to get it over with. Like, a lot of fighters, they don't know how to fucking end fights. Sometimes it's not about the power. It's about your temperament and knowing what punches to throw, where to throw them, and when to just rattle off a combo. Like, remember, we came from an era we're used to seeing those Layla Ali and Oscar De La Hoya stoppages where a guy he hurts somebody and it's like, oh shit, and then he just jumps on him, the ref has to stop it. Like,
I think Ben got the goods. I mean, obviously at 147, Jerron Ennis and Ortiz are the top two prospects, but the way he's fighting, I mean, if you take care of Granados, he's already fought 2 or 3 guys that have fought in America, so he looks like he's on trajectory where he's gonna probably be.
This is a fight I think that'll make him become a contender.
Yeah, he's a
monster. And Ortiz are contenders. I mean, they're no longer prospects.
Yeah.
I want to take a look. I want to take a break just to acknowledge Dari's questions. A couple comments. I know he let some off. So first one he says was PBC and Top Rank should join forces, team up, merge, and make sense of boxing. That will never happen.
It makes too much sense.
Yeah.
It'll be too much sense.
It's too much sense, but legally that will never happen.
That Wilder Fury pay-per-view in the card.
Yeah.
And that undercard. That's it.
Especially they'll work together for a greater good, though. But I mean, it'll have to take one promotional outlet, being up for grabs, for whatever reason. The other one just acquiring everything. But as long as Al Heyman and Bob Arum are alive, they're not going to join forces. But Bob Arum and Don King in their primes, had issues making fights, with their fighters, So I mean, this is like the 2.0 version. So yeah, I it makes sense, but it probably won't happen.
And I think this era of fighters, they don't put their foot down and really kind of hold the promoters accountable. For making certain fights like we used to get back in the day. Like, right. I think the fighters are more content to just
once they get paid. Yeah, I mean the younger ones seem hungry, but then once they make the real bread, they're like, well, some of them, it depends.
Most of them.
But do you think Ben's gonna come over to Palm soon? I mean, I don't know. I just think you still got to come over, man. Eventually.
Depends on how this fight goes.
Yeah, I mean, all British fighters need to come over, anyways. I mean, and I do believe that.
Sooner the better.
Yeah, the sooner the better. And I said it before on other casts, Anthony Joshua, he came over, he came to New York, and he got upset. Like he has to eventually come back here and get that win on American soil. Like,
he should have been back by now. I'm gonna be honest. Like, I think if he gets a good win in America, his career his name and brand gets even bigger. Like, I'm waiting for Joshua to come back to America and fight a solid opponent and get a good win. Like, he has to do that.
Yeah, I know personally. I know people want Joshua and Fury on American soil. I know, prior to the whole the fight going bye. Obviously people were not feeling the Saudi Arabia thing again. Even though it has a history, it's happened before, and both Anthony Joshua and Andy Ruiz got paid off that shit. It wasn't like they was fucking around. Like, them sheiks, they broke that bread and they got paid.
Yeah.
But I know people were not feeling that, because it's like, hey, they can't go to it, or if you do go to it, you can't really drink liquor like that because it's in Arabia, it's an Islamic country, and you have to follow certain rules and shit like that. Even though the sheiks are about, okay, we'll pay you $85 million for all this shit, just air it in our area and we good, that type of shit.
But y'all not gonna need that liquor exception, bro. Sorry.
But Anthony Joshua does have to make it back to America, just like Conor Benn. I'm pretty sure Conor Benn. I mean, his father fought in America early, at certain parts of his career. but obviously not at his peak and not really in his prime either. But he did at least come over a couple times to fight on American soil. So
Yeah.
I'm
Didn't he fight Mugabe in America?
What's that?
Didn't he fight Mugabe in America?
I think he that we fought Iran Barkley. He fought. I definitely know.
Yeah,
He
one in
definitely
America. I know he fought somebody in America like that.
Yeah, he definitely fought somebody.
You up for Ruiz Joshua 3 in America?
No. See that fight. No. After Ruiz had a little bit more trouble with Ariel than he fought, I don't want to see that fight now.
Ruiz need one more good win. If he beats a Dylan White or a Joe Joyce.
Then I'll be more than happy to see a third fight though. But yeah, the fact that Ruiz got knocked down by Areola and was getting shaken up was I was not happy to see that.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind on Ruiz Derek Chisora, and like Penat said, Chisora versus Oscar Rivas would be a great fight too.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, Chisora, Oscar Rivas, like
Great fight.
because Chisora actually has something like unlike Takam, like, and he got robbed in his last fight, like straight up and down, he got robbed.
But Chisora, I mean, he was giving Usyk I know people like that Usyk fight. Chisora, the first 4 or 5 rounds, he was hitting Usyk quite a bit. I was surprised.
Yeah, he was. Like the fight was close. Like the fight was a lot closer. Like Chisora got tired though, and
Usyk kind of picked it up, but Usyk should have stopped him the way Chisora was looking.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Joseph Parker didn't even come close to even doing what Usyk was doing in that fight. And got knocked down to boot. So
Hell yeah.
That was blatant.
And he's a real heavyweight.
Yeah, exactly.
God damn.
Yeah, so I mean, there's definitely some good fights you can make at heavyweight right now, and Chisora, like I know definitely Chisora is definitely still a name you could do, and Chisora Areola still a fight. It's still
dude, that would be like an era heavyweight fight for the ages, like Chisora Areola,
right?
The Vitaly Klitschko runner-up award.
Yeah, unfortunately, Chris Areola's 9 lives keep on the 9 lives with Kaunaki, which should have been. He lost that fight, but he gave a good account.
They had no business being one of the better fights of the year, and
then he knocks down Ruiz, and then he knocks down Ruiz, who's an arguable top 5 heavyweight right now. So it's like. He keeps getting extended, So might as well.
Yeah, if he can perform, then hey, put him in the fights. Fuck But what y'all feel about Granados and Ben? Like, how y'all see that going? Like, and what's your predictions on that?
I will give Granados his respect. I mean, I honestly think that Granados can take him to the cards. I honestly think. I don't think it will be a close fight. I think Ben will probably outwork him on some 116, 112 type of shit, or maybe 116, 111. I think there probably will be a knockdown in that fight.
So you think it's going the distance?
I do.
Wow, I don't know. I think the Ben punches so fucking violently.
Yeah. I
don't see that fight going the distance.
I think Ben's in 6 or 8, but we'll just say 7 just to get sweet spot. I think Ben will get him out of there.
And maybe
I was thinking more like the 5th round. Like I think he'll get him out there before Danny did.
Maybe just prove a point too. Maybe just to, maybe to emphasize that. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I mean, Granados is a good fighter, but to me, Granados is more of a 140. And he's talented. He's a good fighter, but I mean, Ben's like LB said, Ben's vicious as hell, man. So and he's quick and fast. So, but we'll see. I mean, I think Granados will hold his own though.
Yeah, Granados is. The fun thing is, Granados is like maybe 30 or 31. He's not old young, but he's old boxing age. I think
he takes 140 punches better than 147.
Yeah, I mean, his last fight was a welterweight fight, and I think that one I thought he should have won. If I remember correctly, it was a draw, but I definitely thought he won that fight because it was on the Ruiz Areola card. He fought on the undercard. Yeah, so I remember I was like, damn, man, I thought he won that fight. Shit, but Yeah, that was. Yeah, that's it. That's him in the nutshell, though. Like I mean, there's a couple fights in his career that he should have won, but he got draws on or a loss. But you know, I think Granados will at least take him the distance, but he'll lose the distance. Like, you know, Ben will win maybe a 116, 112 type of decision.
Nah, Ben gonna style on him, bro. I think we'll get a good little shootout, and Granados will try to tame Ben with the jab, because his jab is world class. Like, he's real good at disrupting people's offense with his jab. For some reason, if he could get that going, you know, then he has a good chance in this fight. But if he doesn't, he's getting the Danny Garcia treatment. And Danny Garcia never let dude get off with anything.
Yes.
and Ben is much faster. He doesn't fight behind you. You know, quicker, more explosive. So if Ben gets going, I think we might see another early round knockout. But I think a 5th round knockout for me. What Pilot said, I think 7.
Yes, sir, 7.
And Pat, he talking about a decision.
Mm-hmm.
So okay, guess that's it then. Like,
yeah, and more than I'm just putting respect on Granados' name for this, because like I said, I mean, he's been taken a distance by a lot of, you know, pretty, you know, good fighters. Like, it's not like,
yeah, he has, but you know, he's older now, and Ben just punches too hard and violently too quick. You know, and I think the 147 power is just something else.
I mean, he has taken it pretty well before in the past. It's just, you know, I don't know.
When someone keeps throwing it at him, shit. And because if you look at it, Robert Easter and Danny Garcia would only do people who just really kind of kept the offense going. Even though, I mean, Robert Easter's fight was more competitive, but
well, I mean,
Robert
Easter's power has never really shown up past 135, though.
Yeah, but he hits hard.
He does, but it's just like, it's not like at 135. Dude was a little bit of a problem, but at 140, not as much.
Because his last fight he was in punches. Robert Easter is another temperament fighter.
Yeah.
He could hurt. He has the power to hurt you, but for some reason he doesn't fight like he can. Like when he fought Granados, it's like he was fighting with more of a chip on his shoulder, so he was really letting punches go and swinging hard, and he was, you know, buzzing Granados, like he was stopping him in his tracks and shit. But then he has another fight where he just does enough to win. I think it was the Broner undercard.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, he just played
when
it
he
safe
fought Martin?
a little bit.
When he fought Martin, or
I think it was Martin.
Yeah, well, it was Martin. Yeah,
that was one of the most boring fights of the year. My goodness.
Yeah, Ryan Martin. Yeah, that could have been. I mean, that should have been better, but whatever.
I put that on Martin, not really Easter on that one. Martin was to blame for that one.
Yeah. Nah, that's both, man. Like, yeah, I put more on Martin because he's the underdog and he should be there to try to win. But when you get someone like that and you're the better fighter, there's no excuse. You still got to put on your performance and try to get them out of there, or at least put the effort in to beat their ass.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
If somebody fighting that negative, like, then, you know, that's a time when you're in training. You're supposed to be learning how to cut off the ring and fight guys who don't want to fight. You know, that's a boxing skill too. Like stopping guys who want to survive.
Absolutely.
We look at Golovkin different if he would have let Martin Murray go the distance.
Although Martin Murray, at least with Martin Murray was still, you know, he was still coming off a high and a disputed.
Yeah, he's still world class. Martin Murray should have been a champion at least once.
Yeah.
But you get what I'm saying. Like Golovkin hit him so many times. And even when dude got into survival mode, Golovkin still, you know, never let up, and he got the stoppage. Where some people, they just, as soon as a guy get in survival mode, they can't handle him. Perfect example: Jermaine Taylor versus William Joppy.
Yep.
First 5 rounds are competitive, and you know Joppy's in there trying to fight, whatever. Jermaine Taylor's obviously more talented and he's better. He's winning. Soon as he hits him with that uppercut season, and he drops William Joppy gets on his damn roller skates for the rest of the night.
Yep.
And for like the whole second half of the fight, and it's like Jermaine Taylor really couldn't do nothing with him. Now I could blame. We could put blame on Joppy, but Joppy's trying to survive. But Taylor's the guy who should have been able to get him out of there, or at least put more hands on him.
Right.
So boxing, it takes two, but usually the better fighter needs to get the because he's in control. Like if you see a kid at the store and he's damn telling his mom or dad off, you don't look at the kid and be like, damn, that kid, woof. You look at the parent like, what the fuck you doing? Throw this little nigga into a wall. What the fuck? Like, make him respect your authority. Like, come on.
Facts.
And that's what I look at boxing. If the fight gets disrupted, I look at the better fighter, with the higher pedigree to damn do something about it.
Absolutely. And so, and hopefully, like I said, I mean, if let's say if young Conor Benn does throw Granados in the bushes early. I mean, like I said, Granados and Garcia went 7 rounds. Like if he does it, if he has another first round knockout, then Eddie just needs to move him onto an American card like quickly.
A good American card.
A good American.
Yeah,
facts.
Marathon cards.
Yeah, exactly.
Jobber events he be hosting in fucking Miami and shit.
Like even co-maning again a pretty big card will be dope. I mean, even if he's not gonna headline the show.
That's my problem. Like, if you're trying to build guys, you need to have them fighting on each other fucking cards. Like, you can't tell me Andre couldn't have fought on a Joshua card already.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I mean, it's only to give them more exposure because, I mean, you know what I mean? That's something. I mean, when you have him headline on card, there's no buzz about.
I mean, shit. I mean, Katie Taylor got that stimulus, and look at her. Like, Katie Taylor could actually, host her own card now. So it's
exactly. Yeah,
exactly. And even then, he's still matching her up with, undercard Dylan White, Povetkin. Like, you know what I mean? So he's after a couple of those type of events, she could host. She could be the main event her own card. So like you said, or she could keep co-main it. But that's what they got to do. Like none of this damn, don't put all the damn big guys on the same card. Like it's like when with rap albums, like if you're trying to promote an artist and he's new on the label, whatnot, you got to throw him the bigger features to kind of break them in.
Right.
and that's what we kind of expecting with some of these, and it don't happen. Like.
Absolutely.
I could have been had Tevin Farmer. I would have had all those dudes move to UK and be all on the Anthony Joshua card.
Facts.
But instead, he separated them like the fucking Dragon Balls, and they're getting these one-offs, from different parts of the country in America. I'm good.
Yeah, and I just want to go to acknowledge the comments on the side. First of all, salute Henny God. I see you on there. Salute to the channel. Yes, sir.
Salute.
Appreciate that. And then Dari with Francis Ngannou in boxing would be awesome.
Facts.
It would be, yeah. I mean, a heavyweight body is always needed, and obviously, Ngannou is he's charismatic. I mean, he has a good story. You could sell him that. You have to make sure he obviously
punch.
Yeah, punch. But obviously, you got to make sure you got. He has to tighten up some of his other skill sets if he actually wants to compete in boxing like that. And although I know
he'll tighten up his paycheck.
Yeah, exactly. He would be welcome to Dana, though. I mean, because I don't know what his contract is like, but I don't think Dana's gonna let him out of his contract or let him compete in boxing anytime soon.
Has there ever been a worse contract in the history of anything than a fucking UFC contract?
I mean, they do it.
Death row contracts included, like Motown Records, like $10,000 in a Cadillac contract included, like. I'm talking about in the history of contracts.
The TLC contract status, huh? Shit.
Yeah, like the contract is still DLC, bro. Like it just seems like the worst contract. Like you can't be in certain movies, can't do certain spin-offs, can't fight this person. Like, oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's definitely it's a trying thing. Though. I mean, it's either that or you gotta wait for Dana to release you. That's of course. That of course, if you lose too much, or you get thrown in jail, or you get something for murder or some shit like that. So it's like, yeah.
Also, hold on. So they need to trick Dana White. So look, when your name is at its highest peak, lose all of a sudden or do some stupid shit and let him drop you. But then you have all your open movie roles and spin-offs ready, and then you just be like, all right, I'm ready, guys. And then you just move on, and you still got the damn UFC buzz.
Right.
I mean, is that like the blueprint? Like, somebody got to try that or something?
I don't know. No one's actually tried that yet, but
I mean, Kimbo did to a certain level.
Yeah, like I mean, the
Kimbo.
the McGregor shit, it was probably like a one-off, and then it was probably like that. Probably this shit probably wouldn't have worked. But when this motherfucker, cleared like I think 8 figures or 9 figures or whatever the fuck he cleared, or not about 8 figures, I don't know, say 9. Then Dan was probably like, yeah, no, I can't let my fighters go ahead and keep on getting bodied. Because I know Woodley's not. I mean, Woodley's obviously he's not in the UFC anymore. I know because he had several losses, and either or he fulfilled his contract, so that's why that Jake Paul fight is going down. So yeah,
everybody trying to fulfill them contracts, get a Jake Paul fight.
Yeah, because
y'all trying to finish. You know what? Fuck that.